Let's pretend for a moment we live in a world where government makes sense. Welcome back, Psychonauts, to Micro Pioneers, and today I want us to talk about ways that psilocybin can be used by government agencies to have a positive social impact. Maybe I should preface all of these points by saying that psilocybin has a really powerful impact on our brain health and our brain function. So, for instance, you eat 5 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, it acts as a sort of a reset for your brain. And this is one of the reasons why it's being used for things like treatment-resistant depression and for addiction and for things like that, because it basically rewires the brain. Well, it has the potential to rewire the brain. I also want to add that psilocybin is my focus, my area of interest, but there are lots of other plant medicines that could also be used for in similar ways that I'm going to mention. I think that it is important for us to look at the social effects that psilocybin has on culture. You know, how can we use it in ways that would have some type of impact on our individual culture. The prison system is supposed to be about reformation. We take people who make big mistakes and we put them in a place that they can work on this particular, desire to do bad things or whatever, when we think about it, or if we even think about it, because I don't know if we think deeply about, what is the, germination, or what is the catalyst for somebody making these type of decisions and doing certain things. And if we go a little deeper, we realize that criminals are usually the ones who have very, very difficult upbringing. They are the ones who are usually traumatized or have experienced a lot of trauma in their childhood or had very traumatic experiences. People who have suffered a lot of abuse and loss and abandonment and poverty. And as a result, they go down a particular road and they make certain decisions, and then we condemn them to a life of confinement and shame thereafter. For me, I think it's important for us to find ways to deal with this, because people, we can't just let our people go like that without trying to find a way to help, or not making use of the things that are here to help. As far as I am concerned, not just me, psychology in and of itself would show us that because of these things, like these things were the catalysts. not saying that there aren't people who've had really bad experiences who didn't go into a life of crime, but we do have a large majority of people who are doing crimes who have experienced trauma. And as far as I'm concerned, the onus is on us now to help them, that we can administer this to inmates. And we have therapists who are, trained in, or whose focus is psychotherapy, and they come in and they sit with these inmates while they flesh out these feelings and these experiences, and they rewrite their story through that place of vulnerability, and somebody who is there who wants to hear what you have to say, and wants to listen to you, and wants to just lend an ear so that you can express all of this hurt and all of the things that have led you to this particular place. And of course, just talking about it seems like a lot of work, and it would be if we are to use psilocybin to do something like this. It would require people who truly care about reformation and about helping people, because it would really be a harrowing, it would be a lot of work. So we need people who are not just about their bread, who would be willing to commit and dedicate their time to this type of a program of this magnitude. So the prison system is one place that we can really put psilocybin to work. I think that it will have a really spectacular effect if we would just be a little bit more open-minded. Another place that it can play a really big role, and I think that it is absolutely needed at this point, is the mental institute. Now, in Trinidad we have St. Anne's. I remember seeing being in Barbados and seeing their institute there, and seeing people walking around and thinking about them and wondering what their day is like and that kind of thing. But anyway, these places that they send people who are unwell mentally, and they can't really function within the parameters of the dominant culture. The type of help that they offer, I don't know how long lasting or how useful it really is. I don't want to get into conspiracy and talk about people using these places and making so much money off it. I don't want to go down that route. I just want to talk about how it works, ways that we can put it to use in these places, and this would function the same way like in the prison system, that we administer large dose of psilocybin to a patient, and then we have therapists sitting and talking with them or listening to them. Because if it's one thing about psilocybin, when you eat that, you just feel to talk. You want to just talk about all kind of things. So it would really require a lot of empathy and understanding and patience from people who would be involved in projects. The reason why it would work in a place like a mental institute is you know, the same thing like I mentioned before, the prison system in terms of how it affects the brain. And I think that is really where I'm going with all of this. Repairing the brain would be the major function of psilocybin in this particular case. The other place or institute that I think that it could be really useful is with the defense force. So people like police officers and army men and even fire officers, they function in very high stress environments or high stress occupations, in that the type of things that they have to see and what they have to witness can be hard. It can be hard on the psyche, right? And I think that eventually it would impact us in particular ways that may not necessarily be healthy in the long run. So it's important for us to spend time thinking about these people who are here to protect and serve. I mean, yeah, we have issues with them or whatever, right? Good. But we still have to think about their mental health and how their minds are working and functioning along with all that is happening in this world, right? Because it wouldn't hurt us to have policemen who are more emotionally intelligent or more empathetic. It wouldn't hurt us. Come on. So I'm thinking that probably we can have programs like once a month or something like that. Either it's mandatory that you go in and you have a little sit down and chat, but if you say it's mandatory, that might come across as dictatorship, but or just have it as an option. An officer needs help, or one of these servicemen or women need more to flesh through or sift through some big emotions that are building as a result of what they're experiencing, that they have that there, and it is something that works. That it works. Like the research says that it works. Our ancestors showed us that it works. My cat got loose. Yeah, our ancestor. We know that it works. So it's just now for us to put it into action. So we know theoretically these things function this way, and it's time for us to now bring it out of the inner world to the outer world. And these are just three, I would think, the simple ways that it can be utilized. But because of where we are and what is happening in this world, I don't think that it will just happen. And sometimes it makes me feel a bit sad to think that we have so many people who are hurting that we can't help just with nature. These gifts that have been given to us. Like we can do more. We can help more people if we, or the people that we look to, were more open-minded. And I can easily go off into a tangent about why we shouldn't want to be governed by anybody and why self-governance is important, but that's not what this is about, right? So yeah, that's all that I have for you today in terms of that topic. I hope that I was a bit distracted, so I don't know how smooth this is going to turn out. Right, but still, I'm glad that I sat down with you all to have this talk, and perhaps we can have further discussions about it in the comments. I'm really interested to hear about other places or institutions that we can use them. So let me know if you all have any other ideas or suggestions, and I just want to thank you all. Oh wait, no, before I go, I just wanted to let you all know my schedule, that we're aiming for posting every Friday. So look out for that. You can subscribe. I find that such a weird, right? It's weird saying this. Like and subscribe to the channel. That's what every YouTuber says. Like and subscribe. Press some button somewhere and something somewhere. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you for giving me some of your time, and we'll do this again some more. See ya.